Amidst haphazard poor town planning recorded all across the globe, the United Nations organ in charge for the planification of towns and cities known as UN Habitat says it's time to change the mentality across government. This as the world celebrates World Habitat Day today, 7th of October 2024. And it was a remarkable Saturday in Boya as hundreds of mourners turned out for the burial of three children who died in Boya last Sunday, the 29th of September 2024, after consuming noodles. Those were major stories. Good evening to you all. This is High Prime of Monday, the 7th of October 2024. For presentation, I am a technical Larry Kevin Tabot. We begin this newscast with this human interest story from the town of legendary hospitality, Boya, where massive crowds turned out over the weekend to bid farewell to the three children who died last Sunday, the 29th of September 2024, after consuming noodles. The covenant and church service that took place at the Boya Regional Hospital Annex Mortuary was a crowd-pulling one before the mortal remains of the said kids were taken for burial in their residence in Boya. More on that in the flood story.
Wailings and cries of agony and distress emanating from hundreds of mourners who made their presence felt at the coffin and burial ceremony of little Travis, Kayla and Glenn, who met their tragic end last Sunday, 29 September 2024 in Boya.
Well, you can see it's an entire community that is devastated. Personally, it's the first time I'm witnessing this kind of situation. I want to imagine for many people. It's the same. It's not the kind of thing you would wish or imagine. It looks more like a horror story. Being here, it is weird.
From the Boya Regional Hospital Mortuary, where a church service organized by the Full Gospel Mission Cameroon took place, as the mortal remains of the three kids were taken to their family residence in Bunduma for immediate burial. To most of the mourners, their message was that of comfort and encouragement to the family.
Encourage them. They made a tie heart and also it's not easy. For you, mommy picking, for born your picking, the one day you lost all your picking. So may God hold them. Let bless them. And we, the family, will continue to be with them, for strengthening them. They make them try and God will bless them more and more.
Thanking their parents for their strong faith in court, the different mourners took the commitment to always put the entire family in their prayers.
And to the parents and the family, it is a message of deep condolences. And like the preacher said earlier, in circumstances like this, faith has to speak. From the way the parents have spoken, it's a man and a woman of faith. Someone gave, and that person in his sovereignty has taken. And they found the faith to still say glory be unto his name. I can only but urge them to stick with the faith as we encourage the members of the community.
As these three children from the same parents begin their journey to the land of no return, the society is called upon to encourage the parents and family members in all ramifications.
A remarkable sad one indeed, and may the souls of the three kids rest in the bosom of the Almighty. Moving on to something different in line with the International Teachers' Day celebrations that took place over the weekend. That was on Saturday, the 5th of October 2024. Our High TV's Daniel Komimbua zooms in on the various activity that the men and women of the noble profession play in today's society in molding better citizens all across the globe. He puts this in greater perspective in the following story.
They are pillars of knowledge, shaping the future of all. educators and mentors. Being a teacher in today's society is more than just a job. Some opinion holder says it is a calling that one must have before venturing into the profession. On a broad perspective, the function of teachers are aimed to nurture students with essential knowledge that makes them tall and transform their communities, society, and the world at large. The many roles played by teachers in the developmental growth of our society cannot be undermined, as presidents, doctors, ministers, and other top-ranking figures we find in our society today were all molded by these selfless individuals. Despite their selfless sacrifices made on a daily basis, they still face spectacular of challenges. Teaching in some remote areas has been a nightmare to many. Adding to it is the over 8 years socio-political crisis plaguing the two English-speaking regions of Cameroon, which has forced many teachers to flee their areas of command, considered to be red zone. The noble profession that shapes everyone living in our society has today become one of the targeted areas as the armed conflict persists. With this year 2024 theme, valuing teachers' voices towards a new social contract for education, teachers' voices should be given a pride of place in adding value through decision making so as to have a better growth in the society.
And still in the light of World Teachers Day, we take a different perspective in order to honor this year's World Teachers Day. The United Nations Organization, Scientific and Cultural Organization, known for short as UNESCO, has called on governments all across the world to make sure teachers' voices are included in the shaping of the educational landscape all across the various governments. These as the UNESCO, with headquarters in Paris, France, pays special tribute to teachers all around the world. More with you, Daniel Komi.
Without teachers, the society can't be developed. Without teachers, there is no future. Today, many across the globe can read, write, and make efficient decisions, all thanks to the role played by teachers in their lives. Reason why the United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization has deemed it imperative to honor the role played by teachers across the world.
International Teachers' Day to all our teachers around the globe who are doing everything they can to build our societies. We greatly appreciate the continued efforts of Education International's member organization worldwide. They stand united in our call to value, respect, and invest in teachers. They amplify the voices of those committed to building a better future for their students.
While listing the impact done by teachers across the world, the president of the Education International did not fail to mention challenges faced by these teachers.
On this World Teachers' Day, I am honored to speak as we celebrate teachers and confront the urgent challenges facing our profession. We stand at a critical moment for public education. Teachers globally are overworked, underpaid, and undervalued, driving many out of the profession they so love. The growing global shortage puts more strain on those who remain, threatening quality education for all. And that is our future that is threatened.
He went ahead and outlined some solutions.
A well-paid, well-supported, respected teaching profession is essential to ensuring the right to quality education for all. Teachers and their unions must be central to decision-making. True transformation begins by placing teachers at the heart of policies that shape our schools. This requires genuine social dialogue, ensuring teachers are consulted and their expertise trusted. Teachers must have professional autonomy to lead, innovate, and make decisions that shape the future of education.
The president further calls on governments to pay keynote attention into the plight of teachers within their respective country.
Today, we call on governments worldwide to act, fund public education, invest in teachers, guarantee their labor rights, and ensure good working conditions. Let's make teaching a respected, well-paid, and aspirational profession for generations to come.
He did not fail to mention the place of peace in having quality education.
I also reiterate Education International's call for peace. We cannot have quality education without peace. Wars and armed conflicts are the greatest violation of human rights and a threat to education. Schools, teachers, and students should never be targets of war. School communities must be respected as safe sanctuaries.
He ended by saying the most powerful tool for building a better society is education. Therefore, the world must make the environment conducive for both the teachers and learners.
And if you're watching us in Cameroon and around the world, you are on to High Prime, and we are beaming live from our news studios here in High Television. We take you now to the story. Over the years, one of the different organs of the United Nations organization, UN Habitat, that is in charge of best planning of towns and cities all across the world, have been hampering on for countries to make sure that they get a master plan for their towns and cities. This as the world observe International Habitat Day this Monday, the 7th of October 2024, as the UN Habitat calls out to government all across the globe to ensure that they do their best in order to giving their towns and cities a befitting facelift. More on that with Daniel Ikomi.
Agriculture, urbanization, deforestation, resource extraction are just few amongst many causes that sometimes affect human shelter. In and around the world, these factors are often seen being carried out on our communities, thereby pushing inhabitants to seek for shelters in urban areas like towns and cities across the globe. It is for this reason that the United Nations set aside every 7th of October as World Habitat Day. The idea, which comes to reflect on the state of our towns and cities, gives right for all to have adequate shelter. With this year's theme, Engaging Youth to Create a Better Urban Future, aims to handle challenges and opportunities of rapid urbanization by focusing on the active involvement of young people in shaping sustainable cities and communities.
And we crossed over to the town of Buea, where one of the non-profit organizations known as Hope Advocates Africa had a symposium with young persons in the town of Buea on sexual reproductive rights. These, as the set non-governmental organization, deem it's necessary to pass the knowledge on to the youth in the southwest region on the way forward when they are faced with sexual reproductive rights scenarios. The event that was graced by a plethora of different personalities who took upon themselves to explain the essentials and what to do in such scenarios. Alice Lekele Ngwekome has more.
In educating, creating awareness, and emphasizing on what is just on male and female reproductive system during all stages in life, a reproductive justice symposium has been organized by Hope Advocates Africa. The symposium saw 5 resource persons, including the Member of Parliament, Honorable Malomba Esembe, stating the importance of educating the general public on reproductive justice.
From the discussions, I think we are all unanimous. That is an urgent need to intensify education, awareness raising, because in as much as it is a right, a fundamental human right, that's our bodies, I'm talking about the girl, child, and the woman in particular, the right to determine when, how, and if you want to have children or not. Also having regard to the criminal legislation on abortion and things like that, we have seen that education is what is cardinal. If both the boy child, the men, the girl child, and the women, because it takes 2 to tango, that is one key recommendation we have made here, that for these conversations to have the expected outcome going forward, we have to make sure that we associate the men and the boys, because some of the measures that can be taken to avert situations do not lie only with the ladies. Like we mentioned here, the necessity, if it comes to that, of men to also walk around with morning after pills, condoms, both men and women, so that when certain scenarios arise, both can make an informed choice and an informed decision on how to go forward.
To the organizer, Hope Advocates Africa, the objectives of the events were met.
Yes, I think the objectives were met. We brought together our parliamentarian, civil society actors, medical doctors, lawyers, to unpack issues around reproductive justice in Cameroon and get first-hand experiences of how the difficulties that young women face, the difficulties that are related to how our legal system operates, difficulties that has to do with limited access to knowledge or information, the difficulties that arises due to heightened level of poverty. And I think that based on the questions that were raised or asked and the interactive session, we've been able to bring together these fractions of our society together. For them, these are people that we don't meet often on a day, but we have brought them together so that they are able to unpack the issues of reproductive justice in Cameroon. And going forward, we're able to advocate in the advancement of the rights of women and girls in Cameroon, in every community, in every region.
As long as reproductive justice is concerned, it is important to note that in Cameroon, as of now, there are some limitations.
Now, our national law that guides reproductive justice in Cameroon is the Cameroon Penal Code. And in the Cameroon Penal Code, aspects of abortion, which is part of reproductive justice, is criminalized. So in as much as we advocate for a reproductive justice, I would like the young people to know that presently in Cameroon, reproductive justice has its limits. Because what is reproductive justice is a right to have a child, a right not to have a child, or a right to raise a family within a safe environment. So you have a right to have a child, but the right not to have a child, it's to a limited extent. If you get pregnant, for now, under the Cameroon Penal Code, it's punishable for you to commit an abortion, but you can decide to restrain for not having a child. The law cannot force you to have a child, but if you do, you can only get an abortion if it's realized that it's incest, it was rape, or the pregnancy is going to be detrimental to your health.
Highly attended by youth, the symposium, which was held under the theme "Listen to Us, Voices of Youth on Sexual Reproductive Health Rights," was an opportunity for these young ones not only to gain the knowledge, but become advocates of reproductive justice.
Moving on to education now, where the maiden convocation ceremony of one of the leading private secondary schools in Buea, known as St. Bernard's High School, has taken place. This was over the weekend as the excellent student who triumphed in the 2024 session of the GCE for both the ordinary level and advanced level for both the arts and commercial sections, all answered present to thank the school authorities for making them stands out tall for this remarkable success. Alice Lekele Ekome captured each and every moment and now tells us greatly in this upcoming story.
After giving them the right knowledge, morals, and the ability to excel even in trying environments, St. Bernard's High School Buea carrying out her first graduation ceremony. The graduation ceremony took place over the weekend at the school premises.
St. Bernard is a day school, the boarding character that will implement holistic education. Here in St. Bernard, it is home away from home. So we trust that they're going to represent us very well wherever they find themselves, especially with the policy and the vision of the proprietor that we're implementing. We rule from the heart most of the time, as if they are our own children at home. So morals here is top notch. So we don't doubt the children who are going out of St. Bernard.
The dual event also witnessed the second edition of Parents' Day, where parents and the school administration concerted together to come up with ways in which both parties can continually keep working together in grooming the students.
Appreciative and grateful to you parents for trusting us with your kids.
To the students, St. Bernard High School has not just educated their head, but has made them to become better persons, and so they are grateful.
The journey has not been easy, and it's not by might, rather by my power. Every time I'm so grateful with the staff. They really put in much effort to make sure that we achieve all that we are achieving today.
To be here is a privilege. Graduating, being among the graduates, it's been a tough journey. It's very tough. But I'm glad we made it, and having got some acknowledgements in the graduation. Like this is one of them, the best in A-level history and also overall best in A-level grammar. So it's a privilege, and I want to thank the administration and the principal, the proprietor for making this possible.
The ceremony, which was chaired by the proprietor of the school, was characterized with the donation of prizes to the best deserving students and teachers.
This is Koresh, and this is a prize as a registered.
St. Bernard High School performed well in the just proclaimed GCE examination and is still open for admission.
Results, we had 86%, A-level grammar we had 76%, A-level commercial we had 100%, and so on. And it is verifiable. Even last year, the same results. So we make sure we journey with the children very closely.
There were animations to light up the events.
And with that news report from Alice Lekelian Wikoni, this is where we conclude tonight's news package, High Prime of Monday, the 7th of October 2024. For me and the entire news crew, we are wishing you all a blessed night in the company of High Television. But to number for muscle at the top of the hour, that is at exactly 9 p.m. Uncle Dima will be here for the news in the Pidgin language. Until we come your way tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m. GMT+1. Good night.